What's going on, YouTube family? Welcome back to rebirthedu.com. I'm your host, Kendrick, aka Also the Great, back again with the next installment of Rich Dad Poor Dad. We're almost done here, but we are on the next lesson, which is overcoming obstacles. Okay, so there's essentially five reasons people don't get wealthy. And I'm sure you're going to recognize a lot of them and they're going to make sense to you, especially if you've been rocking with me and you've been going through the book. You're going to see the things that I'm going to list off right here, and you're going to recognize why these characteristics and these obstacles that you need to overcome are getting in the way of you getting yourself the financial freedom that you need to give you the options to live the life you want to live, right? So those things are fear, cynicism, or skepticism, whichever one you want to call it, laziness, bad habits, and arrogance, right? So we're going to tap into each one of those real quick. And we're gonna break it down so that way we can overcome these obstacles. That's what we want to do, right? But before we do, as always, got to get the housekeeping out of the way. Make sure you hit like, subscribe if you haven't already. Appreciate you tuning in if you have been tuning in, but don't miss anything. Hit that bell so that way you see when I drop every single day. Okay. So here we go. First things first, right? Fear. That's one of the main reasons why people don't have their finances together, right? It's because they're afraid of what could happen. They allow fear to control their actions, right? And it's not to say that you can't have fear. Fear is somewhat of an emotion, right? But that's where courage comes, right? Courage exists because of fear. It's because you're afraid, but you still take action. That's being courageous, right? So that's the way you overcome that fear. Do not allow that spirit of fear to dictate your life. That is no way to live. And essentially what happens is people allow that fear to be greater than the excitement of actually doing something productive, right? They're so scared that something bad will happen. They allow that to overtake the excitement about something positive happening. Okay? So don't do that. That's a no-no. I don't know how else to say it. Don't do it. Now, it may not be as easy as I'm saying it, and that may be something that you need to work on. And there's a lot of books out here that can kind of help you process your fear, overcome it. If you're not in any kind of counseling or something like that, I always recommend it, to help you push through these things, man. Especially us as men, we're not, it doesn't behoove us to operate in our emotions. It's not that you don't have any. We just can't move in emotions, right? So you got to check yourself, hold yourself accountable for it, recognize that you are afraid for whatever reason, and do the work to get yourself out of that spirit of fear and become more courageous, right? Because this journey is, they're not going to give it to you, right? You got to put in the work. So, cynicism, I hate that word. Cynicism or skepticism, or just you doubting, or you always have that mindset of what if this happened? Well, what if this happens? So a lot of this comes from what you're consuming mentally, what you're feeding yourself, right? Like say for instance, man, that people said, so when the pandemic hit, right? People buying toilet paper, like at ridiculous amounts. Like, for one, Like, what did you think was gonna happen? Like, you crapping this much? Like really? I never understood that. Especially because if you just buy your toilet paper at a regular pace, um, and use it like you normally would, there would be an abundance of toilet paper, like there always is. You would have never ran out of toilet paper. I don't. Yo, whatever. Do your thing, right? But you can't get caught up in a lot of the negative media stuff. You know, when crime rates, when they show you on the news, crime rate went up in this city. Gun sales go through the roof because people are scared and they're listening to the media put all this negativity in their ear, and they start acting out of skepticism and they start acting out of fear. They're scared something's gonna happen, so now they consume. People don't realize that's a marketing tactic that they've been using for a really long time, and it works, right? So that's why they keep doing it. So you got to be real careful about what you feed yourself mentally, what you listen to, because that definitely affects you. So keep listening to positive things. Listen to the people that are well versed in this money game, and know what they're talking about and have already done it. That's why I'm giving you the game from somebody who has already done it. In Robert Kiyosaki, man. Hey, check him out, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't really know me that much, so you ain't got to take it from me. Take it from the authors of these books, right? Because they're giving you the game. So next one, laziness. Well, that pretty much speaks for itself. You can't be lazy, okay? Nobody's gonna come knocking on your door trying to give you this money, trying to give you this wealth, and it's just gonna operate itself. That's not how any of this works. You can't be lazy sitting on your butt and expecting things to happen for you. That's not how life works in general. That got nothing to do with wealth or anything. Get off your butt, go to work. Live this life. Stop sitting around doing nothing. Get up, move around, man. You can't be lazy in this game, right? So the next thing, bad habits. Now this is where a lot of people falter as well, because a lot of people have a consumer mindset. If they can get some money real quick, they can get the bag, and then the first thing they're looking to do is try to find ways to spend it. And obviously that's a bad habit. That's not really where you want to be financially. Okay, you want to have a budget. You want to plan out how you want your finances to work, and then you need to be disciplined and get into the good habits of putting your money where it's supposed to be, so that way you can get that financial freedom that you're looking for, and you have the options that you want in life. Okay, so kicking bad habits is a little bit difficult, right? So it takes a really good change of mindset or a paradigm shift. Now, there's a lot of techniques that you can use to get this done too. We'll probably go over that in some other books that I thoroughly enjoy. But it is totally necessary to stop all of the bad habits. You cannot move forward if you're constantly taking 2 steps back. It doesn't work that way, right? And a lot of this stuff is common sense. But like they say, common sense ain't so common all the time, right? But it's necessary, right? So arrogance, the last one. This is along the lines of, people use arrogance to hide their ignorance of something, right? A lot of people don't do things because they think they know everything, right? And they think what they don't know isn't important, right? There's a lot of people out here that really don't know about money, and they don't think it's important. We've had conversations before about how money is a taboo conversation in a lot of households, and it's not ever approached that we need to learn this, and they think you hear people say stuff like, oh, money isn't everything. That's what losers say. Losers say that's trash. That's trash, fam. They say, oh, money isn't everything. I don't really care about money and I don't really need money. That's absurd. You need resources. You can't go through this life in this country without resources, period. Or in the world, because hey, money's made up. Money is what we say it is. You may go somewhere where they don't use currency like we traditionally use. And you can walk in there with $1,000. You can walk in there with $1 million and they don't care about it because they look at it, man, that's a piece of paper. Go to some indigenous tribes or something like that where they don't use money. Money ain't nothing there but resources. That's where it's at. Trade. You can't function out here without resources. So for you to sit here and say, oh man, resources ain't everything, you trash, fam, and you lazy. And that arrogance that you have about this will be your downfall. And I'm going to be watching you on TV, living a destitute life. You on Hoarders, tripping because you trash. I'm only saying that about Hoarders because me and my wife were just watching Hoarders. And, yo, I don't know how people do it, fam. That is super crazy to me. But I digress. I might talk about that on Instagram in the morning. Give me a morning rant in or something like that. Man. But yo, so that's it. Don't let your arrogance get in the way of your success, right? Humble yourself. Dedicate yourself to educating yourself and get better, right? You don't know everything, fam, and you never will. Okay? Just like I won't. But I'm going to continue to learn. And I have enough common sense to know the things that I don't know and get help in that regard. That's it. It's real simple, man. It's super simple stuff. But those are some of the obstacles that you're going to come across on this journey. And you have to address them. And you have to address them head on. And you got to put in the work. Okay? So, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Check me out on Instagram. I'll probably get a good rant in. Because, man, these Hoarders, these trips. It was more than just that. But I'll talk about it on IG. So, follow me on IG if you haven't already. Come check me out, man. We out here. I'll see you later.